Now, smoking e-cigarettes in enclosed public spaces could soon be banned in Wales.
Well, the country's minister says a ban's being considered over concern they could renormalise conventional cigarettes.
In a moment, we'll be speaking to Charlie Hamshaw-Thomas from e-cigarette manufacturer E-Cig. But first to Cardiff and the Welsh Health Minister, Professor Mark Drakeford. Very good afternoon to you, Professor. Why do you want to ban them?
Good afternoon. Well, we'd be very clear, we're not looking to ban e-cigarettes. All we are looking to do is to bring them in line with the way we treat ordinary cigarettes in preventing their use in enclosed public places. Everywhere else, in any other context, e-cigarettes would continue to be legal and usable.
But they're not cigarettes. They don't have the same ingredients and the health concerns associated with cigarettes, do they?
Our concerns are that because they mimic the use of conventional cigarettes, they lead to renormalisation. We've spent 30 years in this country persuading people to give up smoking. 5,000 people died in Wales last year from smoking. We don't want to see that happen. We're concerned that they may be a gateway product, so that young people in particular end up with real cigarettes, having started on e-cigarettes. And we're concerned as well at blurring the boundary between the ban on conventional cigarettes in enclosed public places and allowing e-cigarettes to be used there.
Isn't it in truth that e-cigarettes are used to give up smoking? Is there any evidence to suggest that they encourage people to take it up?
There is evidence that they can be used in a way that encourages people to take it up. There is evidence that people can use it to come off real smoking. But in all cases, because this is a rapidly changing and growing area, the evidence base is developing rather than definitive. That's why we published a white paper today, because it allows people to contribute any views they have, to engage in the debate, and for us to make sure that we make decisions on the basis of the best possible information.
Is there a risk that you stigmatise people who are trying to give up?
I don't think that's the case at all. As I've said, it's very important for us to be clear that other than not using e-cigarettes in confined public places, people will be able to use them in any other way. And I've had correspondence from people who say to me that it has been a great help to them to be able to use e-cigarettes to get off real smoking, and we want to make sure that those opportunities are still available to people.
Yeah, Professor, the NHS in England are to use these e-cigarettes as an aid to quitting smoking from 2016. So if the NHS believes they're OK, why shouldn't you?
I think it's just important to distinguish between context here. Where they may be useful to people to come off conventional smoking, they will still be available here in Wales to do exactly that. But where there is more of a danger in e-cigarettes, and we do believe, we have good evidence from the BMA, from Public Health Wales, from other bodies that there are risks involved, what we don't want to do in Wales is to let the danger happen and then have to deal with it when we could have prevented that danger from happening in the first place. OK,
Professor Mark Drakeford, Health Minister for Wales, thanks very much for joining us.
Well, let's bring in now Charlie Hamshaw-Thomas, who's from E-Cig, the e-cigarette manufacturer. What do you make of what Professor Drakeford said there? Do you accept that there could be a risk that people using e-cigarettes in public places could renormalise, as he said, this idea of smoking?
I don't think it's really our place to be talking about what's normal and unnormal behaviour. We think that we should be working together here and actually normalising non-smoking. And e-cigarettes can do that. And the data that we're seeing shows there's currently 1.3 million at the last count in estimated e-cigarette users across the UK. And those people are finding these products incredibly helpful in helping them transition away from using tobacco. So we should be working together.
So helping people to give up, but his concern is that it might also be a gateway to people starting. If they see people with e-cigarettes, children might be tempted to take it up. They might then get hooked on the nicotine that they offer and be tempted by cigarettes.
Well, we heard there from the Minister that there was evidence. Please share it, and we want to see it. I think there's an awful lot of data which suggests the opposite. Tobacco sales of cigarettes are dropping big time, which goes to show that less people are smoking, people are using electronic cigarettes. A very good piece of work was done this time last year by Action on Smoking and Health. And they showed zero evidence of a gateway of people moving into cigarettes as a result of using e-cigarettes.
Are there a lot of problems with these cigarettes? Firstly, most contain nicotine, including yours, which all experts agree is highly addictive. And secondly, the long-term health effects of using these e-cigarettes, because they haven't been around that long, just aren't known. Even the NHS says that.
I think we should be very clear here. We well recognise and understand the concerns that government and regulators have about these products. They are new products. They've been in the market for 5 years. The issue of the safety and quality of the products, I think there's two limbs there. They are recognised as being safer than cigarettes. And that is recognised, and we must move on, and we must do a lot of work, us as an industry and with government, on the absolute safety, i.e. the long-term effects. Absolutely, the long-term effects, we definitely need to be doing work on that.